Awesome, mate. Okay, let's quickly just talk about reviewing that that finish on Saturday. Okay, so I'll go through the shots in a second. But what I want to know from you is what your mental state was. Okay, and did you stick to your process? Okay, so you can definitely be nervous. There's no problem with being nervous. All right. Obviously, make sure that you're breathing and your movements are the same, and maybe just get rid of a bit of tension. Okay, but just keep an eye on what your tempo was, including the chipping action. Did you speed up a little bit? Did the hands get a little bit hard? And how are you thinking? Did you think the same? So you can be nervous as long as you think the same. You go through your same process. Okay, same practice swings, same swing thoughts, same visualization, same routine. As long as you go through that, that's fine. You can still be nervous. No problem with being nervous. Okay, as long as nothing changes. Okay, so that's very important. I mean, easier said than done, but that's very important. Okay, and then let's just talk a little bit about shots. Okay, so we've got to look at it tactically first. Okay, so that 8 iron there on 16, 15, do you need to sling it in there? Okay, or let me say this, do you need to draw it in there? Okay, or are you happy to hit it 5 to 6 meters right of the flag in 2-putt? Okay, do you have to get it close to the flag? So that's something you've got to think about. Okay, same idea on 16 from the first cut there. Okay, do you have to go at that flag? Okay, or can you hit a simpler shot? Well, let me say this, can you just not be too safe, okay, but can you just hit a different shot? Do you need to draw it into a back left flag? Okay. I mean, the answer is you don't need to, but I'm saying do you want to, or are you happy just to hit it somewhere else? Okay, so that's something to think about. When you do that, it's very important, I'm going to talk about this now in terms of the draw, it's very important to pick a good target. Okay, so it doesn't mean going to the middle of the green. Okay, what it means is with an 8 iron or a 7 iron, okay, you've got about a 6 meter variance. Okay, remember, no matter how tight that flag is, it'll be 3 meters. That's the minimum from the edge of the green. So if you go 5 meters right, plus your 3 meters, that's 8 meters. So you've got quite a lot to play with there. Don't go flag or middle green. It's too broad with an 8 iron in your hands. Okay, with the wedge, that gap's even narrower. I would say 3 meters with a wedge, plus your 3 meters gives you 6 meters. Okay, so just think about your ratio system in terms of picking safer targets sometimes. Okay, and be specific and then hit it at that target. Okay, but let's talk quickly about maybe you're feeling good, you want to stay aggressive, you're thinking more of getting 3-4 under, okay, rather than taking a par. Alright, that's fine. Nothing wrong with being aggressive, okay? But what I want you to understand is the difference between a draw, okay, what we call a straight draw, okay, and a slinging hook. Alright, so a slinging hook, you have absolutely no control how far that ball is going to go. Okay, basically what happens is, okay, we compromise angle of attack, spin rate, obviously direction, dispersion, okay, and also how much loft we deliver to that club. Okay, so your difference between an 8 and a 7 iron is about 1.5, almost 2 degrees of loft. That is it. If you're now closing down the face with your hands through impact to hit this big slinging inside out hook, okay, if you deliver 1.5 degrees less loft, okay, that 8 iron becomes a 7 iron and it's going to go miles. Okay, so we can't hit our draws by aiming way right, swinging in and shallow, and then accelerating and rolling the club face, putting a lot of side spin on that ball, taking backspin off it, and not knowing how much loft we deliver. Okay, that thing can go anywhere. Okay, how great players, good players, tour players hit draws, okay, to go back to the safe target, okay, is picking a safe, solid target, okay, and gently trying having the face close to the plane. Okay, so you can do that a little bit in your release, or you can do a little bit in your setup. Okay, but basically what you're saying is I'm trying to hit a straight shot, okay, that might possibly draw. And if it draws 5 meters, happy days. If it doesn't draw at all, also happy days. Okay, so there's quite a big difference in that. So you must be able to set up, swing, start the ball in line, and some of them drop left. The ball flight must start where you're aiming, be a nice neutral target, okay, and it'll just maybe drop left but doesn't have to. Okay, so we set up very, very neutrally. We don't swing into out. We don't hold the face. Okay, we don't change our angle of attack in our plane. Okay, everything neutral, everything set up 5 meters right of target, following our body lines, normal swing, normal tempo. Back of the ball is now not yet, it's just slightly there because of our alignment of our body. Okay, and then we either just gently close the toe through impact, or we close the toe 2 degrees in our grip to start, and we start with that face a little bit shut, and we make a normal swing and basically try and hit the ball straight. Okay, very, 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 very different proposition to in and slinging it in. Okay, how do I know that? First of all, it went too far. Second of all, you used the word sling. And then third of all, the next shot on the next hole is the giveaway, because that's a problem with the sling. Same shot, maybe a little bit of grass because you're in the first cut, just between the balls, so the ball just left the face a little bit earlier, but basically now you missed right, which tells me you're aiming and swinging too far right. Okay, that ball leaves the face before you have time to close it because a little bit of timing, a little bit of the grass, and all of a sudden it doesn't come back. Okay, that dispersion is all over the place, both lateral dispersion and distance control. Okay, so we've got to practice hitting little subtle drop draws, drop fades, or straight draws, straight fades. Okay, we can't go from straight into a big slinging hook. Okay, we're just not going to have control over that golf. So you need to understand that. Okay, and then you need to understand how to pick targets much better. Okay, use a ratio system in terms of how far you are, and be disciplined in picking a good target. Okay, right. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but then well done up and down there on 17, I assume from the back bunker. Okay, and then obviously a nice putt, and then a very, very nicely played on 18. Well done, very good. I'm glad they got you calm. Okay, but let's try and be a little bit better. Okay, talk a little bit about 3 as well. Obviously, getting 4 iron water left, to me that sounds like a very, very difficult hole. Okay, so you weren't as specific there. Obviously, hit the ball in the water, but yeah, maybe just to think better about what our target is. Okay, where on the green are you trying to hit it? That type of hole, I would say you try to hit in the middle of the green, no matter where the flag is. So just work out how to hit in the middle of the green, and just hit it there all the time, and then you get comfortable hitting it there. From the middle of the green, you're just going to putt to wherever the flag is. Okay, so practice hitting that shot. Okay, if there's water left and you want to hit right third of the green, I imagine that length of hole with water, maybe the green's fairly wide. So break the green into thirds. Try and hit right third of the green with the little draw we've just spoken about. Some will draw, some won't. Okay, can't hit a sling draw in there, as I've just explained. There's no control over it. Dispersion factor all over the place. Okay, so just something to think about, and we'll discuss it in more detail. All right, and then lastly, go through those videos again, those driver videos. How cool is that move with the driver? So all of a sudden, the arm depth, when we squat, okay, the arm depth is over here instead of over here. Okay, so we don't have to get the arms on the arm depth better. We don't have to delay the rotation. We don't have to worry about getting the club on plane. We don't have to worry about synchronizing body pivot with the arm swing. Okay, I think if you get it right, you'll actually pick up a little bit of distance, because we're just going to crank your body up a little bit better. So we won't have to do this to get a long swing to get club head speed. We're going to just crank up our X factor a little bit, maintain that, okay, and obviously that club's going to be arm depth better, club more on plane. Okay, so keep doing that, squat draw the driver, and now start adding speed to it. Okay, so I want a little sort of 10 o'clocker squat, and then fire, okay, and start adding some speed as we go. If you get comfortable with that, then speed up the backswing to normal tempo, 10 o'clock squat, okay, and just see how those drivers are coming out. Okay, obviously if you over squat and don't get the fire right, you might get a little bit inside. Don't worry too much. When you're on the golf course, you're going to be way more out in front of you on top of the golf ball, still hitting that little power fade. It's working nicely because we're still going this way through impact. So although it feels like you're covering it, it's not. Angle of attack looks really, really good, but face to plane is much better, and we're not able to flick that club through impact. Okay, so that's how it works. Right, iron work, still keep doing the same. Wedge work, still with that start line, please. Okay, and let's get an idea of lateral dispersion. Okay, hit those. What I mean is when you're warming up, hit those start line, hit those wedges as straight as possible. Make sure they're starting on line, starting on line, starting on line, starting on line. Okay, got all of that? Thanks very much. Let me know how practice goes and then how we're prepping for the upcoming weeks, upcoming golf. Okay, I see some really, really good scores here in the next few weeks.